Seeking 23 hours after opening up their season with on this very floor, the Atlantic High School girls basketball team is back in action, looking to gain experience and confidence every time they step on the court. Tonight, it's the Titans of University who have traveled all the way to Florida's East Coast to provide the opposition as they look to rebound from a difficult start to the season of their own. Live in the gymnasium on the campus of Atlantic High School in Port Orange, Florida, tonight's broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball on MJT Sports Productions is on the air. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Truvillo. Thank you so much for joining me for the first game of an Atlantic Sharks doubleheader tonight on MJT Sports Productions, with the girls taking on University here shortly. And at 7:30 Eastern, the boys team aims to keep their undefeated start to the season as they take on the Deltona Wolves. Well, enough preamble. There's basketball to talk about. There's also about a minute and a half until the game tips off. Atlantic is 0-1 on the season after last night's 48-11 loss to Lake Mary Prep. Despite the one-sided final score, the young Sharks team did show some promise, limiting the Griffins to just 18 first-half points and outscoring Lake Mary Prep in the second quarter 5-3. The Sharks also forced a myriad of Griffins turnovers, but were not able to capitalize on multiple fast break opportunities. Where Atlantic will need to improve is on the offensive end of the floor. 7 of the Sharks' 11 points came from sophomore guard Aaliyah Jones, who hit 2 straightaway threes at the end of the first half. Atlantic did struggle the most under the basket and will look to become more consistent at finishing their chances as the season goes along. The University Titans take the floor tonight with a 1-4 record and have already played 2 tough district games against Flagler, Palm Coast, and Spruce Creek, the latter of which is likely the best team in Volusia County this year. The Titans' lone success so far was a 59-25 win at DeLand. Like Atlantic, University is also dealing with a change in leadership, with Sam Story stepping down in March after 6 seasons at the helm. University has tapped former New Smyrna Beach head coach Cal Cochran to man the ship. University likes to do their damage in the paint and has 2 forwards averaging in double figures through 5 games. 5'11 sophomore Khalees Chisholm, 12 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 5'8 senior Zuleika Santiago, 10.3 points, 9 rebounds, and senior Leah Evans, 7 points, 2.5 rebounds, will guide the team as its starting point guard. We are just seconds away from tip-off here for the first game of our Thursday night doubleheader. Here are the MJT Sports Productions keys to the game. For Atlantic, don't waste possessions. The Sharks were plagued by travels, backcourt violations, and other self-inflicted turnovers against Lake Mary Prep. Improving those fundamentals will be important to the Sharks' improvement as a team. And for University, size does matter. With Khalees Chisholm at 5'11 and Jasmine Williams at 5'10, the Titans will have a distinct advantage on the glass. Look for University to take advantage of this mismatch to score second chance points and keep Atlantic off the glass. The timer has hit 0, the pregame timer here at the gymnasium here at Atlantic High School. We are just now waiting for the teams to come out of their huddle, and we will get this game underway. The starting 5 for Atlantic is as follows. Number 4, Jemiah Slayton is the starting point guard. Aaliyah Jones, their top scorer, is also in the lineup. Madison Ronzio is in at forward. Ashton Grant, the guard, is in it as a sophomore, and Serenity Martin is a junior also in the starting lineup. Adrikus Williams, the head coach of the Sharks, is not here tonight. His assistant coaches will be leading the way. I did not receive a starting lineup for University before the ball game. I think the scores table is just receiving it now, so I will inform you as they come onto the floor. Once again, this is the first game of an MJT Sports Productions doubleheader here at the Shark Tank tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to tune in as the boys basketball team looks to continue their undefeated start to the season as they take on former head coach Brad Frazier and the Deltona Wolves. For the Sharks tonight, one of the things that is of paramount importance, and it's not winning the game. The thing that is most important for the Sharks tonight is consistency and learning. it's a young team, as we discussed last night. Coach Adrikius Williams told me before yesterday's game that none of these players had played organized basketball before this year, and last night was their first game. There was bound to be some jitters and some miscues, and there probably will be going forward, but we have to be patient with this team because they will learn as they go, and they have some star athletes on the team. We have athletes from bowling, cheerleading, cross country, and track, and others from throughout the Atlantic family that have joined this basketball team to keep their storied women's basketball tradition alive. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it's tip-off between the Titans of University and the Sharks of Atlantic. This is MJT Sports Productions' broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. We are just about set to go here from the gymnasium on the campus of Atlantic High School between the Sharks of Atlantic and the University Titans. I can see the players coming out from their huddles now, so let's run you through the University starting lineup. Caroline Scholler is in there along with Maya Darby. The center is Khalees Chisholm, the tallest player on the floor tonight at 5'11". Alyssa Clark is in the starting lineup, and rounding out the starting five for University is Shrivi Davis. Once again, it's Slayton, Jones, Ronzio, Grant, and Martin for the Atlantic Sharks. Sharks will attack the basket to listeners' right in this opening half. University, wearing the all-orange and gray highlights, will attack the basket to listeners' left. Sharks in their home white. Teal numbers, black trim, Sharks in teal across the front. Ronzio and Chisholm battle the tip. The Sharks do win the opening tip, but it's tapped back into the hands of Aaliyah Jones. Jones runs up the floor. She'll stop in front of the University bench and hand the ball to Jemiah Slayton. Slayton now pitches it under the basket to Serenity Martin. The pass goes off her hands and out of bounds, and an empty first possession for the Atlantic Sharks. So controlling the point for University tonight will be Caroline Scholler, the junior guard, 5 foot even. 4 points per game, 3 rebounds. The ball is quickly shoveled into the left-hand corner. That's a long 2 on the way, and good for Alyssa Clark, and the Titans are on the board. Expect the Sharks to slow the game down as they tried to do last night. Skipping across the time stripe is Ashton Grant. She'll throw it to Slayton. Slayton took one step too many. Now she's got to pass the ball. She was hounded by Maya Darby and turned it over. Controlling is Khalees Chisholm. Chisholm now in front of the Atlantic bench to listeners' left. Puts the ball in her right hand. Drives past Jones and puts the ball up and in with the right hand. Quickly 4-0 here for the Titans as the Sharks look to find their footing in this game. Just a minute and a half gone. 6:48 to go in the first quarter. Aaliyah Jones controls, hounded by Alyssa Clark between the circles, now moves to her left, goes all the way to the left-hand corner, bounce pass back to the middle for Slayton. Slayton worked on by Darby as she rolls all the way to the right and looks like she will pick up the foul, and she does. Maya Darby with the arm check, and she can't do that in the game anymore, and that will be called a foul every time. So Atlantic will inbound to listeners right in front of the University bench. The pass is grabbed by Madison Ronzio, but under heavy pressure from Alyssa Clark, steps on the half-court line. That'll be an over and back, and that's one of the things I mentioned in the pregame show. You can't have these silly turnovers, travelings, over and backs. It's just fundamentals. University controls the ball up 4-0. Here's Chisholm, drives the lane, right-hand floater is good. It hung on the rim and then fell in. Chisholm up to 4 points, and it's 6-0 University, 6:15 to go first quarter. Controlling is Ashton Grant. Guarding her is Scholler. Caroline Scholler. Pass back. Now a 3 on the way from the left-hand corner by Grant is off the mark. Chisholm grabs the board. Quick bounce pass ahead to Scholler. Scholler tries to throw it under the basket for Maya Darby in transition, but Jemiah Slayton got back and knocked the ball out of play across the baseline. And it will be University ball. They'll inbound underneath the basket that they attack to listeners left, wearing the all-orange, a white stripe down the side, gray numbers, white trim. Quickly in to Shrivi Davis, who lays it up and in. 8 straight for the University Titans. That one a nifty little play off the inbounds pass. 5:40 to go in the first quarter. Throwing into the front court, it finds Madison Ronzio, and the ball is kicked away, and it'll be Atlantic ball to inbound about halfway into University territory on the far side from where our broadcast position is here at the scorer's table. The gunner is Ronzio, floats it into Jones. Jones, the top scorer for Atlantic last night, was 7. Jones draws a double team in front of the University bench, tries to spin away from Davis. Bounce pass up to the top, finds Ashton Grant. Grant fires a 3, it's too short. The ball is battled for under the basket, it rolls out of bounds. It will be University basketball, as the ball was the last touch by Jemiah Slayton, and Serenity Martin tried to chase after it, could not get there. Quickly into Scholler. Scholler finds Chisholm. Chisholm runs the floor. Right-hand layup is good from the left-hand side, and that's just simple one-touch passing on the break. And it looks like a timeout is going to be called by the Atlantic Sharks. Lillian Sprouse set to check back into the game. We'll take a quick break. Want to get your business on the air in front of the Atlantic fans? If you would like to advertise on MJT Sports Productions, the official internet radio partner of Atlantic Athletics, please email AHS Athletic Director Shakia Brown at smbrown@volusia.k12.fl.us, and your business could be on the air with the Sharks. As the official healthcare champion of Volusia County Schools, Advent Health is committed to providing championship caliber care. With 4 hospitals, 4 urgent care centers, and 6 sports medicine and rehab locations across Volusia County, Advent Health is here to keep your student athlete off the sidelines and get them back in the game. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. 5:05 to go in the first quarter this evening between the University Lady Titans and the Atlantic Sharks. Titans on top 10-0. The Sharks try and find their footing here early, and it's been, as I expected, Khalees Chisholm, the 5'11 forward, only a sophomore for University, but averages a team-high 12 points per game, is leading the way. She's got 6 of her team's 10 so far. Sharks will start with the basketball. One change. Lillian Sprouse checks in for the Sharks. The inbounds pass goes to Ashton Grant. Grant shuffles and gets it to Aaliyah Jones. Jones drives. Right-hand layup is good and one. So once again, the danger player for the Sharks will be Aaliyah Jones. And they're going to get Davis for the foul for University. That'll be her first. And Jones will head to the line. Got to the line twice in the first half yesterday. Went 1 for 4 from the charity stripe, did Aaliyah Jones. Jones, 2 bounces of the basketball, now 3. Right-hand dominant player fires the end. One, it goes off the glass and is no good. Into the front court, controlling it is Khalees Chisholm. Chisholm against Jones. Thought about a jab step, drops it back, now throws it to the corner for Scholler. Scholler drives baseline, right-hand floater is up and in. So 4 Titans on the board early. Scholler, Clark, Davis, and Chisholm all with points. 4:30 to go first quarter. It's a 10-point lead for University, 12-2. Aaliyah Jones stands on the Atlantic Sharks logo at midcourt, tries to bounce pass it to Ashton Grant. She does get it there. Grant fires a 3 from the left-hand ring, front rim, and out. Shrevey Davis grabs the board for University. Double team pressure comes, but she gets the ball away to Caroline Scholler. Scholler, bounce pass in transition. Mid-range jumper from the left wing side is no good from Alyssa Clark. The Sharks grab the rebound. Jones trying to run before go coast to coast. Unfortunately, dribbles it off her foot and has to recover, which she does. And we'll reset the offense all the way back to the logo at midcourt. Finds Slayton. Slayton throws up a wild shot from beyond the arc that will hit nothing and go out of play and be University basketball. 3 quick changes for the Titans. Mackenzie Reed comes in. Leah Evans also, and in for Shrevey Davis is Ayana Gill. Gill, a senior forward, 5'6", becomes the second forward in the lineup. Reed and Evans are in as guards. Scholler quickly under the basket. Unguarded is Khalees Chisholm, and she lays it in. Already 8 points in this first quarter, 3:32 to go in it for Khalees Chisholm. Ashton Grant will travel with the basketball as she crosses the timeline and tried to bounce pass it to Aaliyah Jones. It's that little skip step that she does. Normally it's okay, but you can't take that third skip right before you pass and not dribble the basketball anymore. So it'll be University ball, up 14-2, 3:24 to go first quarter. After the travel, second unforced error by the Sharks already in this quarter. Scholler controls out high, hits Mackenzie Reed on a high ball screen into Chisholm. Here's a free throw line jumper, left side of the rim, not out, but it's chased down brilliantly by Mackenzie Reed in the corner. She fires across to the right-hand corner. Long two on the way. In and out from Ayanna Gill. Ball on the ground, fought for by Jones. Jones tries to throw it ahead to Sprouse, but the pass is intercepted by Evans. Evans now in the corner, throws it all the way back to the top. Mackenzie Reed, and now Scholler will control. Scholler with Jones on her. Right-hand drive, tries to get to the baseline, throws it underneath for Chisholm. Chisholm with the nice move to get by Lillian Sprouse to lay it in. So it's all Khalees Chisholm so far. She's the only person with more than 2 points for the University Titans, as she's got 12 of her team's 16. 2:34 to go in the first quarter. Aaliyah Jones now runs the point, taking that roll over from Ashton Grant. She's got Chisholm on her out high, her heels on the Atlantic logo. Jones now moves to her left, tries to find a passing lane. Jones almost steps on the midcourt line. She doesn't. She gets the ball away to Slayton. Slayton, right-hand dribble drive, gets all the way to the baseline and gets fouled as she went up for a layup by Mackenzie Reed, who was tracking her all the way. And it's going to be Reed picking up her first foul. And it's going to be in the active shooting, so Jemiah Slayton will head to the line. Slayton did not get to the free throw line last night, so this will be her first attempt of the season. Again, a right-hand dominant player. A couple of bounces of the ball, throws it up, off the glass, no good. So the Sharks 0 for 2 from the charity stripe to start this first quarter. Second of a two-shot penalty on the way, hangs on the rim and out. And a long rebound comes to University. Dribbling through traffic is Leah Evans into the corner for Reed. Reed baseline drive, leaves her layup short. Offensive board comes to Evans. Her putback is also no good. And a steal as Sprouse tried to break the zone by Chisholm. And she gets reached in on by Lillian Sprouse. Sprouse got to be careful as she picked up 4 fouls last night, one of 3 Sharks with 4 fouls. Slayton had 4, Sprouse had 4, and Grant actually had 5 and fouled out of the game. 16-2, the University Titans lead as Chisholm comes out of the game. Pass under the basket to the freshly into the game, Zuleika Santiago, and Santiago lays it in. That's the second of those inbounds passes under the basket that has hurt the Sharks. Just a simple inside pick motion. In for Atlantic is Neray Ivy as well as Essence Wallace. Jones controls for the Sharks. Out high, fights through a double team, loses the handle, gets under the basket, saves it, then works back to the right-hand corner in front of the University bench. Crawls to shoot, she does, blocked by Leah Evans and turned over. The ball comes to Santiago, rolls ahead, baseline pass, and the shot is blocked as Leah Evans tried to go up for a layup. It's still in possession, recovered by University. Now a three-pointer on the way and straight through there from Caroline Scholler. And she becomes the second player on University's side to have more than 1 field goal, as it is now 21-2 University. It was good hustle back at the beginning of that play by Aaliyah Jones to get the block, but then University kept the ball, and wide open was Scholler, and then as Aaliyah Jones tries to escape Mackenzie Reed, she steps on the midcourt line, and that's another over and back. So a third unforced error in this first quarter for the Sharks. 39 seconds to go. Caroline Scholler controls off the inbounds pass, finds Reed. Reed steps into a long 3. It's going to be off the iron and no good, but she fights for the rebound. Scholler shovels under for Reed. Her shot is blocked by Essence Wallace, and the ball is pinballing around. It eventually comes to Jones, but she gets stripped by Mackenzie Reed, and University still has possession. Underneath the basket, Santiago, layup too short, fighting for the rebound with Slayton. Another rebound by University, this time a long 2 off the catch and shoot by by Gill is no good. The ball is bumped out of bounds by Neray Ivy, and it will be University ball. Expect another pick on the low block to try and get another easy bucket here off the inbounds pass that they've done 2 times before. They do. It shovels into Santiago. Santiago hounded by a freshly into the game, Janae Livingston. Can't get a shot up, but a 3 on the way, and good by Reed, and that will end the first quarter. University with the offense to show for it. They've come all the way from near Orlando and lead 24-2 at the end of 1 quarter. We'll take 30 seconds and be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Second quarter on tap from the Shark Tank here. Second game of the season for Atlantic Sharks girls basketball. They trail the University Titans 24-2 after the first 8 minutes of play. University will start with the basketball. They attack the basket to listeners left, wearing the all-orange white stripe down the side. Shoveled under the basket by Scholar. Santiago recovers her own miss, gets the left-hand layup to fall. 7:49 to go first half, 26-2, University on top. Ashton Grant controls for the Sharks, shovels it left to Slayton. Slayton double teamed at the top of the circle. She dribbles to the right-hand side and stops, tries to throw it into the high post. It's picked off by Leah Evans of University. Evans runs the floor, tries to go coast to coast, throws up a wild layup that misses everything, and it's going to be Sharks ball as it goes out past the baseline. And that's a little selfish there from Leah Evans. Thinks she can go coast to coast on an inbounds pass. It's turned over to Evans, who stayed home. And she's going to get fouled on a putback attempt by Madison Ronzio. That's Ronzio's first foul, and the first free throw attempts of the game will come from Leah Evans of University. First University free throw attempts, I should say. The Sharks are 0 of 3 from the line so far. Evans, a left-hand dominant shooter, and this one hangs on the rim and falls. Making the score 27-2. Flings the second one up, back iron no good, gets her own miss, it came right back to her. Her putback is also no good. Slayton controls the rebound, and then she gets fouled. And they're gonna get Gill for the foul, her first for University. It'll be Atlantic basketball. 1 minute gone by, third quarter, 27-12 the score. Long three from the right wing side is in and out from Jemiah Slayton. Log rebound controlled by the Sharks in the left-hand corner with Ronzio. Whistle and a double dribble. So the Sharks turn it over once again. University controls with Caroline Scholler. Scholler walks across the time stripe, blows by Ashton Grant, gets to the lane, layup with the right hand is good. That's just a nice individual play by Scholler. Jab step to the right, then danced back to the left, and nobody was covering the paint. And another turnover for the Sharks as once again Ashton Grant walks before she passes the ball. And it'll be University ball as Grant will head to the sidelines. Essence Wallace comes into the game. Scholler once again controls for University. Now Wallace on her, tries to go by Wallace, and she will travel as she tried to do that same jab step maneuver that she did on the last one and take one too many steps. Ronzio drops it in to Jones. Jones crosses the time stripe, 6:18 to go second quarter. Jones works to the left-hand corner, gets baseline, fires along two. Too strong, offensive rebound, fought for but lost. Julenka Santiago grabs it for University. Santiago trying to go coast to coast. Has Livingston on her in the left-hand corner, 3 on the way and 2 short by Leah Evans. Putback is up and good by Santiago though. Walking across the center court line is Aaliyah Jones, bounce pass left side, Slayton. Slayton comes to the top, double team on her, rolls around left-hand side, throws into the low post for Ronzio. Ronzio working on Santiago, back outside. Now left-hand corner, here's Livingston. Livingston tries to fire a 3, that's blocked by Evans. And diving on the ground for a loose ball is Jemiah Slayton, and a timeout's gonna be called by the Sharks. Sharks fans, basketball season is here, and you can catch all the action from the Shark Tank live on MJT Sports Productions, the official internet radio home of your Atlantic Sharks. Be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, all at MJT Sports Productions, so you never miss a moment of the action. Let's go Sharks. Advent Health is here for you and with you during every tip-off, every basket, and every season to support you physically, mentally, and spiritually in this game called life. Advent Health is on your team. They're your biggest fan, and they're here to help you feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. 5 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the first half here from Atlantic High School, and the University Titans are on top of the Atlantic Sharks 31-2. Sharks have the ball. They'll inbound under the basket that they attack to listeners' right. Ball comes in from Wallace to Slayton. Slayton gets it to Dickerson, who's just checked in. Dickerson double-teamed on the low post and loses the ball. Leah Evans trying to go coast to coast. She's guarded by Slayton. Throws up an underhand layup and gets it to go. So the workhorse has changed in the last couple of minutes for University. It was Caroline Scholler, and now it is Leah Evans. Right-hand corner. Here is Livingston, back to Slayton. Slayton drives in front of the University bench, throws up a runner in the lane, not good. And Santiago controls the rebound for University, and he will trap, and that's gonna be a double dribble, by Santiago as she let the ball hang in the air just a little bit too long, and Atlantic will get the ball back. 33-2 the score, 4:42 to go in the first half. Slayton controls for Atlantic, working on her opposite number, Caroline Scholler. Throws all the way back to the left, and the pass is unable to be controlled by Janae Livingston and flies into the stands. It was a long pass from wing to wing, and just not able to get a handle on it was Livingston, and now Scholler controls, hands it right-hand corner, Mackenzie Reed. Reed bounce pass to the top that misses her intended target of Santiago, but it is found by Reed. Reed now back, baseline drive left side, whistle and a foul. We'll see if it's in the act of shooting or not. Looks like they're gonna get Jemiah Slayton for the foul. That's her first. And it's gonna be, and a quick layup under the basket is good. I'm not sure who by. Was Santiago. So now the Sharks control, 4:04 to go first half. Bounce pass right-hand side. Janae Livingston controls it, working in front of their University bench. 3 on the way from the corner, hits the back iron and no good. Dickerson with the offensive rebound, and her putback just barely misses. Mackenzie Reed controls off the miss. Floated into the paint for Santiago, takes a Euro step, throws up a left-hand layup, not good. Gets her own miss and puts it back up and in. Coach Kyle Cochran trying to call timeout for University. He successfully does so. Wholesale changes for the Titans coming in. Shrivi Davis, Alyssa Clark, Khalees Chisholm, and Ayana Gill will check back in for the Sharks. When we come back, we'll take this 30-second timeout. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. 3:34 to go in the first half of action here from the Shark Tank first end of a Atlantic Sharks doubleheader here tonight. The girls trail the University Titans 37-2. 3:25 to go. Long three on the way. Front iron no good from Slayton. Rebound fought for and grabbed by Maya Darby, the starter who's back in the game. Darby works by Essence Wallace off a high ball screen. Throws underneath for Santiago. Tough shot. Won't go. Serenity Martin grabs the board and then travels as she tried to get away from the pressure of Khalees Chisholm, the 5'11 senior center, or excuse me, sophomore center for the Titans, who's just checked back in. Underneath the basket it goes. Layup is no good. Takes a wild carom off the rim. Long rebound is fought for and won by the Titans, and then a mid-range jump shot is good. Catch and shoot by Maya Darby. That's her first points of the night. 39-2 is the score. 2:45 to go in the first half. Slayton controls high left-hand side, now works back to the middle between the circles, gets the ball to Grant, long three on the way, no good, missed everything, and it will be Titan basketball. The starters are all back in for the Titans, save for Caroline Scholar. Ball goes under the basket, and there's going to be a foul, and it's going to go on Ronzio, her second, as she pushed Alyssa Clark. The only change is that Scholar is out for Maya Darby. In the middle it goes, and Khalees Chisholm just finds very little resistance getting to the basket. And it's not just that she's 5'11 and the tallest player on the floor by about 3 inches. She's got the wingspan to be able to keep the ball away from the Sharks players and easily just pitch the ball back up. Wayward pass from the Sharks is picked off by Alyssa Clark. Clark into the front court, tries to shovel it onto the basket to Santiago. Pass deflected into the hands of Santiago. Nice tip pass from Shrivy Davis, and Santiago finishes at the rim. 43-2 the score. Slayton into the right-hand corner. Essence Wallace tries a three, misses everything, and goes out of bounds. I think the Sharks are a little bit rattled because last night against Lake Mary Prep, they were able to keep it close on the defensive side for the first half. Tonight it has not gone their way, and so a lot of wild threes early in, well, essentially what is the shot clock. There is no shot clock. Clock down under a minute to go. Nice Euro step by Santiago, finished with the left hand at the rim. Blew right by Essence Wallace to get there. Sharks control 45 to go first half, 45-2 the score. Ashton Grant hands to Slayton. Slayton against Darby. Hands it left side to Wallace. And it's going to be a tie-up. The Sharks with the possession arrow. Running clock here at the Shark Tank. 25 seconds to go, so the Sharks going to have to get it in fast if they want to get a shot up before the break. Wallace, the gunner, to Slayton. 15 seconds to go. Slayton drives past Davis. Takes a shot, no good. And now a rebound shoveled out to Grant. Her mid-range jumper is no good. Now running the floor is Khalees Chisholm off an outbounds pass. She's going to get hammered on the back and travel before she made the shot. And that'll be the end of the first half. Your score at the break, it's the University Titans 45, the Atlantic Sharks 2. We'll take a short break and come back with the halftime stats and figures and a primer on the second game of tonight between the Deltona Wolves and the Atlantic Sharks boys team. This is MJT Sports Productions' broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Welcome back to the gymnasium on the campus of Atlantic High School. And the first game of our doubleheader is at halftime. The Atlantic Sharks trail the University Titans 45-2. Here are your scoring totals. For the Sharks, it's easy. It's 2 points for Aaliyah Jones. That's all the scoring they've got, despite a couple of good looks for Madison Ronzio, Jemiah Slayton, and Essence Wallace. For the University Titans, the two that I expected to be dominant were the two forwards. Santiago has 14, and Khalees Chisholm has 12. Other than that, Scholar has 7, Reed and Evans have 3, and Clark, Darby, and Davis all have 2. In the second game of our doubleheader tonight, it is a homecoming for Deltona Wolves head coach Brad Frazier, as he spent 1 season at the helm of the Atlantic Sharks back in 2019. The Sharks went 13-13 in that season and made the district quarterfinals. That's coming up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You're going to want to tune in for that one as the Sharks look to maintain their undefeated record on this season. We'll be back in about 3.5 minutes for the second half between the Sharks and the Titans. You're listening to MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Teams are on the floor for the second half of action between the Atlantic Sharks and the University Titans, the girls basketball in the front end of our doubleheader tonight here at the Shark Tank. Remember, second game coming up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Atlantic Sharks boys basketball team looks to take their undefeated record unblemished against the Deltona Wolves. The Wolves just arrived here at the Shark Tank during halftime of the previous game. University will control the ball out of the second half. They've got a 45-2 lead. And Scholar controls, throws it under the basket. Oh, it almost was intercepted by Jemiah Slayton, but Scholar gets it back from Reed, throws it up, no good. Offensive board ripped away by Shrevey Davis. Straightaway three, back iron, no good. Davis with another rebound. Thought she got bumped, no whistle goes, and Ronzio controls for the Sharks. Ronzio across the timeline in front of the scorer's table, hands to Slayton. Slayton up and in, off the backboard, no good. Rebound ripped away by Shrevey Davis, and now it's a 2-on-none as a long pass finds Scholar. Scholar to Reed, Reed, a layup, no good. Into the front court with speed comes Aaliyah Jones. Jones puts the ball on the floor, gets to the baseline, is stopped up there, and gets it out to Slayton. Slayton tries to get it back to Jones, but it's knocked away by Reed. Reed runs the floor, stops up in the paint, guarded by Jones, throws it over her head, and it is Atlantic basketball. Tried to throw it over her head to Caroline Scholar, who was behind her, but the ball just went out of bounds. 6:58 in the third quarter. No score yet in this quarter, 45-2, the score for University. Thrown into the left-hand corner by Slayton, intended for Essence Wallace, tipped away by Evans. And it will be Atlantic basketball they control. Atlantic in the all-white, teal numbers, teal trim, black stripes down the side. Attacking the basket to Listener's left. Foul is going to be called on University's Ayana Gill. That's her second foul, first of the second half on the Titans, and Atlantic will inbound. Into the baseline. Long shot on the way from the right-hand corner by Slayton is no good. Rebound in traffic, fought for by Scholar. Running ahead of everybody is Reed, but the pass is too far ahead of Reed and flies into the door. That is in the wall under the basket here at the Shark Tank. Slayton will go out for the Sharks. Ashton Grant, the starter guard, comes back in. Once again, it'll be Aaliyah Jones to control, slow the tempo down, walks across the Atlantic logo with 5:50 to go in the third. She'll be guarded by Scholar. Left-hand pass, fresh into the game, a three on the way, no good from Grant. Outlet pass finds Reed, and then a bounce pass into the front court for Scholar, who's all alone. Another bounce pass into the paint. A layup is no good from Evans, and Essence Wallace tries to grab the rebound, but loses the ball to Reed and then fouls Reed, as Reed was trying to turn around once again. That play took the ball all the way almost up to the halfway line. That's Essence Wallace's first foul, first team foul of the half. Three on the way off the inbounds catch and shoot. Back iron, no good. That three was by Reed. Controlled by University, as trying to get to the ball before it goes to the half court was Scholar. She does get it back to Reed. Reed into the low post. Up and no good from Davis, gets her own miss, follows it with the left hand and hits. (47-2) the score, 4:40 to go, third quarter running clock. Bounce pass, left-hand side, three on the way, and getting hammered on the three-point shot was Ashton Grant. She'll go to the line to shoot three free throw attempts, and that'll be Mackenzie Reed picking up her second foul. Third trip to the line for the Sharks. They are 0 for 3. Slayton missed a pair, and then Jones missed an and one in the first half. This is Grant's first trip to the line. It's up and no good off the backboard. Remember, this will be a 3-shot penalty. Grant did not get to the line last night, so this is her first trip of the season. Grant bends down, fires, and it's off the back iron, no good. And wholesale changes for University is they're going to put their starting 5 back in, plus Zuleika Santiago. So that means Khalees Chisholm is back. So is Santiago. Those are the 2 top scorers so far. Third of a 3-shot penalty coming for Ashton Grant. It's up. It's no good wide to the right. Missed all 3 of them. And Chisholm controls for University. Khalees Chisholm. Bounce pass high side, Maya Darby. Darby fires the 3 over the head of Essence Wallace. No good. Flying for the rebound is Santiago. Darby gets it back. Catch and shoot 15 feet. No good. And the rebound comes to Madison Ronzio. And then Ronzio is fouled on the breakout by Darby, and Coach Cochran is not happy about that. That's Madison Darby's second foul. One thing the Sharks have done well tonight, and I will give them credit for, is keeping out of foul trouble. Last night they had 3 players with 4 fouls and 1 fouled out. Nobody has more than 2, and that's Ronzio with 2 here today for the Sharks. 3 on the way, quickly in transition. It goes over the backboard by Aaliyah Jones. Quick press comes from the Sharks, but the ball comes in to Santiago, right in front of the scorer's table, throws it into the front court, tries to get it to Chisholm. The ball is deflected back to Santiago, who tried a little hook pass over her head to Chisholm, and it goes over Chisholm's head. That's impressive considering Chisholm is 5'11", and out of bounds. Sharks will control the basketball. 2:10 to go in the third quarter. Aaliyah Jones stands on the Atlantic logo, moves to her left, tries to get around Darby. Cannot do it. Darby, left-hand corner for Ronzio. Ronzio baseline drive into a triple team, tries to put up a layup, and is going to be fouled. And it's going to be the first foul on Zuleika Santiago. And 2 more free throws coming for the Sharks. This is Ronzio's first trip to the line tonight. Ronzio up and missed it wide to the right. Ronzio's second attempt, back iron no good. So the Sharks are 0 for 8 from the charity stripe. Coast to coast goes Chisholm, back iron no good on the layup. Wild rebound comes back to Clark. Clark finds Darby. Darby at the free throw line. She's going to be reached in on by Aaliyah Jones, and that'll be Jones's first foul. In the low post, off the inbounds pass. Catch and shoot for Darby. Rims out. Offensive rebound is going to be fought for Darby and 1. She fires another shot from 20 feet, won't get it. And now on the breakout, here is Ashton Grant. Grant runs the floor, throws up a layup, no good, but she will be fouled. Alyssa Clark tapped Grant on the arm, and Ashton Grant will go to the line for her second trip in as many minutes, as there's 30 seconds to go in the third quarter with this running clock. Grant can't get this one to fall as it's off to the left. Clock down to 15 seconds. This will be the last action of the first half, or a third quarter rather. It rolls in. Sharks are on the board in the second half as the second free throw rolls in from Ashton Grant, and Grant is on the board for her first point of the season. Stepping in for a long two-point shot at the buzzer is Alyssa Clark. It's nowhere near, and we go to the fourth. Your score, 47-3, University on top of the Atlantic Sharks. This is MJT Sports Productions' broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Back for the fourth quarter here at the Shark Tank. It's 47-3, but that's not really the story. The story right now is that the Sharks limited the University Titans to only 2 points in that third quarter. There is no quit in this team, and we're going to see that a lot this season. They're going to keep fighting, and even with the starters, or most of the starters on the floor for the Titans through most of the third quarter, they only managed 2 points. Scholler back in the game for the Titans, takes the inbounds pass, controls high. Sharks run a 2-3 zone. Left-hand corner and a reach-in foul going to go against Lillian Sprouse. It was a nice move by Mackenzie Reed, fake to her left, drove baseline right on the right-hand corner and forced Sprouse to reach in. Catch and shoot three, left-hand wing for Leah Evans. Offensive rebound by University, another catch and shoot. This will be a long two. If it goes, it's no good. Rims out by Mackenzie Reed, and then a push in the back is called against Ashton Grant. That's her first foul on the rebound. University will have the ball under the basket that they attack to listeners right. Remember, wearing the all-orange, gray numbers, white trim, white stripe down the sides. Quick catch and shoot for Evans. Off the back iron, no good. Calls for a rebound from the Atlantic bench, but it is taken by University. Evans tries to throw it back to Scholler, and it's knocked out of bounds by Essence Wallace, so University will keep control. 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Running clock here at the Shark Tank. Scholler shovels it to the left-hand corner. Evans tries a three. It misses everything short, but another offensive rebound is put back up and in by Ayana Gill. .6:30 to go. Aaliyah Jones controls for the Sharks, wearing the all-white, teal numbers, black trim. As they attack the basket to listeners, high left-hand side. Lillian Sprouse into a double team, throws the ball over her head, and traveling with the basketball before she could get a shot off was Neray Ivy. And it's just too close, because all Ivy has to do is put the ball on the ground one time and she has an open look at the basket. It's just these little things. 3 substitutions in for the Sharks, including the freshman Dickerson. Grant comes back in, Slayton comes back in, and Ronzio comes back in, all the way through into the lane, and a left-hand layup is good from Zuleika Santiago, her first points of the second half. 51-3 the score. Working right-hand side is Slayton. Slayton gets to the paint. Now a double team underneath. She can't step. That should have been a tie-up, not called. Dickerson finds the baseline, and her shot rolls in. Caitlin Dickerson off the mark with her first points of the season. Off a tough layup to the left-hand side. Santiago tries to throw the ball over her head. It does find Evans. Bounce pass into the middle. Free throw line jumper by Ayana Gill is no good. Rebound, again, one offensively by the Titans. Mackenzie Reed shovels it to Santiago, and her left-hand layup is good. 5 minutes to go, 51-5. Oh, sorry, 53-5. Dickerson throws the ball across the time stripe. It comes to Slayton. Slayton, right-hand dribble drive, gets to the paint, took one too many steps, shovels it to Ronzio. Her layup hit the underside of the bar and comes back out. Santiago in her own half of the floor, running step for step with Aaliyah Jones. Jones on Santiago. Santiago forced to pass it to the left-hand wing for Leah Evans. Evans back to Santiago at the top, drives past Ronzio, shovels under the basket, and a layup is missed by Ayana Gill. Long rebound comes out to the left-hand corner. Lots of contact. Going to see who they call the foul on. It looks like it probably will be Ashton Grant. Oh no, they're going to call out of bounds on University. So I believe it was Leah Evans who was working one-on-one over there with Ashton Grant, as Janae Livingston checks back in for the Sharks. Ashton Grant controls. Bounce pass, intercepted. She tried to get it to Slayton, and running free is Reed. Reed, right-hand layup is good. 55-5 the score, 3:32 to go. Sharks control with Slayton. She fires a long three, and it misses everything short and goes out of bounds. University with the basketball. Long pass, finds Alyssa Clark for University, tries a reverse layup, no good. Santiago battles for the rebound, gets into the right-hand corner for Reed. Reed tries to throw it back to Santiago, but the pass is deflected by Jones and turned over. Slayton controls for the Sharks. High right-hand side, works down low, has it poked away from behind very nicely by Leah Evans. Long pass ahead. Evans is going to put the layup up, no good. Santiago follows, also no good, gets another miss, and puts this one up and in. Sharks control with Grant. Grant fires a long three straight on. Bank is open for Ashton Grant as she converts on a three. Sharks up to 8 points now. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Santiago controls out high. The forward running the point. He hands it to Gill off a high ball screen. Gill, floater in the lane, not good. Knocks down Dickerson. No foul called. Gets her own miss and a foul. Ashton Grant called for her second foul, and going to the line is Ayana Gill. Caitlin Dickerson probably had a case for an offensive foul there. I couldn't really see her feet through all the traffic as Ayana Gill bowled over her, but now Gill is at the line. Gill, first one is missed. Naray Ivy checks back in for the Sharks. She'll replace Dickerson. Second of a two-shot penalty coming for Ayana Gill. She missed the first one. The second one is up, and it is good. 58-8 the score, minute to go. Coming up next for Atlantic, it's a home tilt with DeLand on the 7th. We'll be here to cover that one on MJT Sports Productions. Then their first road game of the season as they travel to Father Lopez on the 9th. 3 on the way from Ashton Grant off a deflected pass. That one, a long rebound pulled down by Leah Evans. Quickly into the front court, Santiago. Her layup is no good, but a foul. And it's going to be the third on Ashton Grant. 35 seconds to go. Up next for University, they've got a game at Horizon on the 7th, and then back home against Seabreeze on the 8th. That's their next two. With under 30 seconds to go on a running clock, Santiago is at the line. Back iron, no good on the first one. This is the first trip to the line by either University forward tonight, so that's one thing the Sharks have done well, is not foul the big men in the post. Second one falls in, 59-8. That'll be your final score as the clock runs out. Once again, your final score, the University Titans 59, the Atlantic Sharks 8. We'll take 30 seconds to tally the scores. Be right back to let you know the scores and give you the preview for our second game of our doubleheader. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Game one of our doubleheader here from Atlantic High School is over. The University Titans have defeated the Atlantic Sharks 59-8. But again, as I mentioned, the score is not really the point here. The point is that the Atlantic Sharks never gave up. They kept battling. They made some nice shots down the stretch, and there is a lot of athletic promise on this team. And I'm sure with the proper coaching and maybe an off season under their belt, they will start to be competitive. Here are your final scoring totals. First for the Atlantic Sharks, Grant had 4, Dickerson had 2, and Jones had 2. And for the University Titans, Santiago led the way with 21. Chisholm had 12. Scholar had 7. Reed had 5. Evans had 3. Darby 2. Gill had 3. And Davis had 4. Once again, your final score of the first game of the night, 59-8 in favor of the University Titans over the Atlantic Sharks. We'll be back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the second game of our doubleheader featuring the Atlantic boys basketball team and the Deltona Wolves. I hope you will join us then. For now, my name is Michael Travillo signing off. We will see you next time.